ability to make Corruptors very quickly whenever he frees up that kind of supply room. He's also got a few Infestors out on the field right now. They're going to be gaining energy, and Idra is just moving around the map, trying to look for any opportunities for him to kill anything and deny any expansion attempts out of XiaoT. As we can see right now that there is a 4th expansion on the way for XiaoT, and Idra is gearing up to launch an attack on it.
Yeah, Idra's actually letting the Spinecrawlers finish. This is something that I've seen him do a decent amount on his stream. He usually cancels the Spinecrawlers so he goes over 200 supply. He doesn't seem too worried about it right now. Roaches and Banelings and Infestors attacking it on the 3rd.
No Funkles!
Oh my god, but you know, the Broodlords aren't here to support, so looks like Idra just throwing away a little bit more supply. He does have to be careful about that he doesn't give away too much, because then XiaoT might be able to counterattack on the 4th or 5th, but you can see him freeing up a little bit more supply, some more Broodlords on the way. That's going to bring the count up to about 9. So there's going to be a good number of Broodlords. There's more Infestors being produced to replace those that Idra lost. You can have a really strong army. XiaoT trying to take out a base, but the Broodlords are enough to hold him back. So Idra's still looking like he's in a strong position in this game.
Yeah, and Force Field's going down once again. Going to keep a ton of the army of EG Idra out and away from the remainder, but the Blink is going to go forward. These Broodlords are going to go down very quickly. It does look like Idra gave away a little bit too much of his army. There is his gold expansion is going to go down very quickly right now. Supply counts 167 for EG Idra as there are 46 Zerglings on the way. Idra desperately trying to get out as many forces as you can, and Idra is just going to leave the game no GG.
Wow. I thought Idra was still fine there, but he did get caught a little bit off guard. His army was a little bit split up. As you can see, his Broodlords and the rest of his army did engage a little bit off from each other. So those force fields from XiaoT were enough to chop him into 2. And then that great Blink to focus down those Broodlords. Idra was really relying on those Broodlords to keep him in the game. He even came forward with these Infestors and threw down some fungal growths because of the fact that they'd already used their, or Infestors, because they'd used their energy on some fungals. So if he had some fungals there, he might have been able to delay. But XiaoT doing a great job there. I think the late game Colossus switch kind of caught him off guard. He didn't have that many Corruptors because he turned them all into Broodlords. If he had been able to scout out those Colossus, probably would have kept some Corruptors on reserve to try and deal with those, and probably be able to take the game a little bit later.
Yeah, I was really expecting Idra to hold on to a few Corruptors in that last engagement when it happened. And another really big thing to point out is when Idra was gearing up to start putting some pressure onto that 4th base, XiaoT moved down, and Idra had about 3 or 4 Infestors there with enough energy to cast at least 4 fungal growths, and I think I saw 1, and then the rest of them just died with full energy. Yeah. Or maybe at least one of them got away, and that could have been a huge change in the way that game turned out.
Yeah, and then, you know, after that, you know, he did the Infestors that did survive, he didn't have enough energy on those for fungals. So the ones that he did have energy for died. He didn't have enough time to save up energy for those fungal growths. And XiaoT, even though he was down like 2 bases, still able to push forward with that Death Ball, control it very well. Those force fields by him were clutch the entire game. So that means that XiaoT will advance to the round of 4. That means that we have our top 4 players that are going to be advancing to the live finals in Shanghai, China. It's going to be XiaoT over Idra, Love TT over Maro, Love CD over Damaga, and OGS MC over Ace. So that means that we have 3 Chinese players in the top 4. 3.
I have to say I wasn't expecting that, but I also wasn't too familiar with the Chinese scene, and those guys have really shown that they are a force to be reckoned with in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, and there were only 6 Chinese qualifiers, so that means half of the Chinese players who entered this 32-player bracket have made it to the semifinals. That's an amazing ratio by the Chinese players, and it's really showing us how well these players are playing. I mean, XiaoT, he has the highest win ratio in the world right now, and he's showing us that he is a pretty good player. So are his countrymen. So the Shanghai China finals are going to be on June 11th and 12th. I don't know if we're covering those or not, so stay tuned, but you definitely do want to watch. It's going to be brought to you by someone, and make sure you do follow us on Twitter, ICCupTV. Myself is ICCup, RealCoon, and Prodigy as well at Prodigy SC. Thanks everybody for tuning in. That was a little bit of a shorter cast than we expected.